Beyond Transcendence with Andrew. I'm your host, Andrew Wilson. On today's show, we have Kyle and Eli from Peak Fulfillment Men's Coaching. They specialize in helping men achieve balance and fulfillment through coaching, immersive solo retreats, and a supportive mastermind program. Their unique approach combines mindfulness, self-discovery, and community support to transform lives. Welcome to the show, Kyle and Eli. Welcome to the show, Eli Libby.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome, man. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you for being a part of my show. So tell me about your solo retreat and what's spiritual about it.
Absolutely, man. The solo retreat is a really unique experience because, I'll ask you, I'm going to fire a question back at you. Have you been in a place of solitude? You might because you are spiritual, but have you ever taken the time to just be in stillness by yourself and do deep inner work?
Absolutely. I meditate
Yeah,
every morning. I also
beautiful. Yeah,
practice yoga. So
nice.
I do, I try to do that. And I also, my fiance and I actually just did a retreat for a couple's
Nice.
retreat. So that was
That's
very
awesome, man.
enlightening and
I
spiritual
want to,
too.
yeah, I kind of want to hear more about that, and maybe we'll talk about it on the show, maybe not, or after, I don't know. But have you taken a retreat by yourself, taken the time and the permission for yourself to get away from your house and do deep inner work? Have you done that before?
Not so much, no.
Sure. So, I mean, that's the response we get from everybody. So what we've done is we've curated this experience in this program where you actually get this physical box experience shipped to your house, and then you take it to a place of solitude, peace, serenity, whatever you find, Airbnb on the ocean, cabin in the woods, camping, backpacking, whatever that is. You take this box experience, and it's 3 days of workbooks. They're curated content between Kyle and I. It's based on experience, and it helps you guide you through themed days. So day one is self-discovery, day two is self-purpose, day three is all about vision crafting. And there's a lot of deep reflection in there, that emotional baggage we all carry, those limiting beliefs that we all have. It dives deeply into that. A lot of visualization practices. So getting back to the spirituality, a lot of meditation, gentle yoga, kind of in between. But what's unique about it is, like you said, nobody's really taken that time. A big part of it for men in particular is it's about ego and lack of vulnerability. We kind of have this selflessness where we don't give ourselves that permission to go out by ourselves. It feels selfish to us, and it felt even to women. So this program allows you to go do that, and it's instead of just journaling in the woods randomly, it is crafted and self-guided. So you get out of it what you put into it. And we've had incredible success with students that have gone through our program, really from the side of life-changing like transformation, because we believe that the answer is inside of all of us. A coach is amazing. A coach is great. They give you different perspectives on who you are, but the work is done inside of us. And we have the answer inside of us, but we don't have that space. Put the phone away. It is a digital detox experience as well. You lock your phone away and you go through this 3 days of solitude, and you do the deep inner work, journaling, activities, meditation, guided audio notes. So I know I've been rambling there, man. What questions do you have? I hate to just keep talking, but I want to hear what you.
I want to know what sparked this idea. This is
Yeah,
like beautiful. I like this.
thanks, man. I really appreciate saying that. We get so many people saying, "Dude, that's amazing!" Like, "Oh my God, I've never heard of that!" Like, so unique. And then they're like, "I need this," and we're like, "Okay, give yourself the permission. Do it. It's not expensive. We really keep the price low. Go out and do it." And it's that part of people that they know that if they do not make change, they're not going to change. So we become accountability partners. And it's not from like a nagging sales perspective, go out there and do it, Andrew. It's more like, dude, you need this. You've told me you need this. I am an accountability coach. I'm going to get you to do this thing. And I will make payment plans so where you can go, I don't care, man. 6 months payment plan on $1,500 is not much. I will do that for you. So it's this unique approach to we have this deep desire. It fulfills us to fulfill other people. We tried to get into the coaching space about 2 years ago, And it was this dilution. We wanted to work with male entrepreneurs in the tech space because our podcast that you've listened to, we've done for 6 years. We've had hundreds of episodes. People follow us because of our entrepreneurial journey and the ups and downs that we've had and the vulnerability that we've shown on the podcast and in our other businesses. And it's so hard to get into coaching. It really is, man. It's hard because these entrepreneurs typically have a coach that allowed them to rise to the top. She's like, how do we talk to these people? And we had, dude, 30 offers, and we tried it and couldn't get in the door, couldn't pierce that armor. We did a little bit. And I'm going to zoom back about 5 years, 6 years now. My business partner, Kyle, lost his house in a really devastating fire in Northern California. His parents had moved up a couple weeks before. They lost their house as well, lost everything that they've had. Kyle had a baby about a year before that. They had a miscarriage the day before the fire, and he never had this time to process through these deep emotions. He had to stand up, be that resilient father figure for his family as well as his mom and dad. And then we moved the company because of the bad PTSD that he had. We moved it up to Central Oregon, but he never had that deep time to reflect. What happened? Why did it happen? And how do I move past that? On top of that, our business at the time was massively failing. Every day it was stress. Every day it was bad news and negativity. So he was crumbling to the point of wanting to check out with life. He was like, dude, I don't think I'm going to make it much longer. And obviously, I'm freaking out. His business partner, best friend, I mean, just an incredible human, told me and his wife, said, I'm going to go to the coast for 3 days. And we were very nervous, right? He's been talking about, ending everything. And he said, I'm going to the coast. His wife sat down with him and crafted some kind of journaling prompts, really, at the end of the day. 3 days, like kind of deep, going through who he is, why he was, the divine intervention that happened to him. And he came back an absolute transformed human. I mean, night and day, man. Night and day, Andrew. And so we kind of tabled that for a while. We didn't really think much of it. We were in this haste in this middle of coaching. How do we do it? What do we do? How can we tap into the market? And it hit us one day like, dude, we need to offer solo retreats. Nobody's doing that. Nobody takes the time in stillness, and how rare that moment is with email, freaking phone, social media, everything going off, to have that time of solitude and how important that is. It started to come to us in building this experience and this like legitimately tangible experience that you get with a bunch of other goodies. And I can share what that is later, but there's a ton of stuff in the box. It's not just workbooks. And we started to give it out to people in our network, and they were literally changing their lives. So we started to build a business around it. And how it works really is we were certified life coaches as well. They go through this program, and it's cool because it's based on experience. It's not us telling you what to do. It's telling you this is what we did in these kind of times, how to move limiting beliefs, these mental roadblocks out of the way to reach your full potential. It's all coming from experience. And that's what I love and I'm so passionate about. And they come back, we debrief call with them. We have 3 coaching calls with them. And that first call, man, is the freaking best call that you can ever have with somebody, because these aha moments, spirituality, the signs that they had on their retreat, dude, Andrew, it's wild, man. It's very cool to have, because all they did is they just sat there, they shut their phone off, and they were with themselves. They had moments of boredom, but they filled it with intentionality and being present in the moment. And it's amazing, man. It's been really cool. And a lot of entrepreneurs are working with us because they're in this transitional period of life. It's a very lonely space as an entrepreneur. So they're coming to us. If they sell their business, their identity is wrapped up in that company, and it gets sold. And now it's like, whoa, who am I? What am I on? What is my purpose? What are my core values? So they go on these retreats by themselves, with themselves, do the deep inner work, and they come out knowing their path forward. They can see that vision in 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. So that's how it came, man. That's very long-winded. That's how the idea came about, and that's kind of how we're implementing it. And after they go on these retreats, we help them implement all their learnings into their daily lives. We have masterminds, we have in-person retreats that they can come to after. It's been incredible, man. Love every second of it.
It's beautiful. So can you explain more about the mastermind? I'm not familiar with the mastermind, but everything
Yeah.
else you're explaining is wonderful.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, the mastermind really is a group of like-minded individuals that have gone through our program. So you already have common ground. A lot of people, entrepreneurs in particular, but just people in general, very introverted. They don't necessarily like to step into that uncomfortable zone of having to interact and meet people, join another networking group, join another mastermind group. What's cool about this is we've already broken that ice with they have the vocab of the solo retreat. They've done that experience. Now they can come into a mastermind. We do bi-weekly calls with the group. It's really just pretty informal, kind of like man or woman in the middle. What's going on? How can we help you? How can we support you? How can we serve you? And that's really it just people start talking and helping out. Hey man, this is my experience. And it just happens. So it's more about community. After COVID, a lot of people are looking for community, like-minded community. And that's what we've been able to do with the mastermind. And just keeping these touch points and keeping them accountable to the stuff that they told us they were going to do with the goals and their vision. What did that vision look like? They could see it, smell it, feel it. How can we help put that into action for them? And that's what the mastermind is used for.
Beautiful. So
Yeah, it's
where do
awesome.
you send them for their retreats? Like what countries do they go to?
Dude, wherever you want to go, it doesn't matter. It's about you. We're not there. We do not curate it. We don't tell you where to go. We can recommend places. If you're like, hey, I have no idea what to do, we have criteria around what makes a good retreat. But you can say, hey, Eli, I'm looking to go between an hour radius of my house for a 3-day kind of weekend. Perfect. Here's what we would recommend. We do the research, we can send it to you, you book it. That's not included in the experience of the program. That's kind of, we don't make the program expensive. It's very attainable. We typically are working in tandem with other coaches to offer this to their network because, again, the deep inner work is inside you. That answer is inside of their student. So our program works really well, kind of cleaning the slate for other coaches to be able to come in and coach. So I say that because it's a really choose your own path, choose your own journey. Where do you find peace? Let's start there. If it's the ocean, book a little Airbnb on the ocean. If it's in the woods, go rent a little RV or something. Go up in the woods by yourself. It doesn't matter where you go. Be in solitude, be in peace, make sure to disconnect.
Amazing. So everyone's like working together. So it's kind of like
Mhm.
a tight knit family, not just a community, but like a networking family working together. So that's really
It it
wonderful.
is it is, man. Thank you. It is in your own by yourself for yourself. You're doing it in solitude. And then you can interact with the community.
Good.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's so cool and it's changing lives. And I love every single day that we can have that intimate call, intimate meeting. We have people here in our town that are doing it and just see their lives change in 3 days. They're doing deep work in 3 days based on our workbooks. It's fun.
Beautiful. So then, and then you have the podcast on top of that. Do you like bring the podcasts on as well and explain it in your podcast? Or do you just,
Yeah,
is this
good
kind of
question.
like your own project separate from the podcast?
It's separate from the podcast. The podcast is a great avenue to share with the mastermind, share with the community, saying, "Hey, we brought this guest on, and they're talking about intentionality in daily life. Like, you guys should listen to this." Or we'll bring on a coach in that specific area that can dive deeper than just surface level. They dive deep on a certain niche and certain topic, and we can present that to the community as well. It's really just supplemental information from thought leaders. We are not a jack of all trades. We are a king in one, and we try and bring in kings and queens of their trades to speak to our audience, but also speak not only our solo retreat audience, but the audience that we've had over the last 6 years of doing this podcast.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, man. Tell me more about you. I want to know about you. What are
I
you up to?
am, I am, the podcast, of course, is my Beyond Transcendence with
Sure.
Andrew.
Yeah.
And then also, I am a quantum healing
Yeah.
hypnotherapist technique.
That's
I
awesome.
dive into past life regressions. I connect you with your subconscious. I
Yeah.
do sessions where people go under and
Cool.
their mind does all the healing for them. So I'm very familiar with
Powerful.
how the powerful the mind is, and I'm very grateful for the gifts that I've learned, and it helped me to rebuild myself because
Good.
I lost my mother and
Yep.
it took a
Sorry to hear
traumatic worse. Oh, thank you very much. And I was dealing with relationships that I wasn't happy with,
that.
and
Sure.
it brought me to an understanding that I am a soul having a human experience rather a human having a soul experience.
Love that, man. That's powerful. You're doing good work. You're doing
Thank you so
powerful work. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Thank you so much. Have you ever heard of quantum healing before?
We've had a couple people on our show that have talked through that. So I am familiar with the term and what some of the what kind of the basics are. Again, very surface level. But I know that it's powerful. I know that some of the students that they've had on and they've talked through and some of the stories have been really transformational. And it's really cool.
It's awesome. I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to, like, I want to be a healer. And at some point, I'd like to be a coach like you. I'd
Yep.
like to get up and, like, public speak and just kind of,
Yep.
like, bring positivity because there's so much negativity going on in the world. And
It's everything, man. A smile
yeah,
changes everybody's day.
yeah, I found that out the other day. I smiled at a lady and she said, I am so thankful for your smile. I'm like, oh, you're very
Yep.
welcome.
It changes somebody's day, man. That's all it takes.
So I got to ask, what made you want to be on my podcast? What made you want to come on?
A lot of similarities, man, just in what you said. There's a spirituality background of that. You're healing, we're healing, and ultimately, at the end of the day, I've said it multiple times in the show. We're transforming lives, and you're transforming lives. I think there's a similar message there. We'll share it out to our audience. I know that your audience hopefully will take something from this, and that was a really big gravitational pull to your podcast.
That's awesome. I'm so like
Yeah.
grateful. It's neat
Heck
to
yeah.
finally get to host a pod with a podcast
Yep.
host. Like I've never done it
Yeah.
before, so it's cool.
It's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you any words for my audience, like knowledge or wisdom or anything for them to hear?
Absolutely. I mean, speaking in my lane, experience solitude, experience stillness. What does that feel like when you aren't tapping your pocket for your phone, and you can put it away and do not disturb or whatever that is that you want to try and practice. Like, what does stillness feel like? And try and practice that on a regular basis. Try and disconnect and be in your thoughts. A lot of moments in life I know I've had where it's like, man, life is so short and it can be so short and tomorrow's not guaranteed. So be very present in every moment that you have. It really is a gift. And if you can try and cut the distractions away, that gift becomes really bright. And we've just experienced that from our students and our backgrounds, our experiences just as humans, but through our program. And again, I would just practice solitude. What does that feel like? It's very rare, but it's also a gift to yourself.
Beautiful words. Thank
Yeah,
you
man.
for your words. That's awesome. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This has been fun, Eli. I've enjoyed this interview. You're a very kind soul, and you're a beautiful person. And I'm thankful for
Thanks, man.
your friend Kyle as well. And I wish him
Yeah,
nothing but the best. And I'm sorry that I couldn't meet him today.
it's okay. Well, I'm sure down the road we will.
Definitely, this has been a wonderful show, and I'm grateful for Eli coming on to my show, and I'm thankful for the message that you brought. Take care. Much love.
See ya.
And that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed the message that Eli brought on about the solo retreats and how taking a solo retreat, putting your phone down, letting yourself be avoided from distractions, and just taking some time for yourself, and how that will help you grow as a human being, and how it will help you to clear your mind and allow yourself to dive in deep to whatever thoughts and abilities that you have that you're not allowing yourself to be a part of. And I hope you enjoyed this show. I'm thankful and grateful for all you listening to my show. And once again, I leave my email, btwa2024@gmail.com, or if you would kindly please leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and much love to you. Bye.